So in this video, we're going to talk about the hold from the front of the court, first part of the court that we're going to discuss. And there's a few key elements that I believe you got to get right. So looking at James Willstrop does it particularly well, Nick Matthew does it particularly well. I'm a massive fan of the idea of working from the ground upwards, getting your feet committed first, getting yourself in a position where you can really get the feet down nice and early, freeze them, and then everything else above that should hopefully stay relatively still for that really effective hold. How it gets done well for me is a relatively explosive first movement. So if I'm on the tee here, ball's going to be in the front right, I would explode onto that ball quick. And once I'm here, I then plant my feet. The idea about getting there, planting my feet, really getting it up and showing a lot of options. So on the backhand, it might look something like this. I would explode, I would stop, and there, if I can just stop for half a second, full second, my opponent is going to mimic that. The idea where my explosive movement onto a ball, they will have to come with me. They'll have to kind of get out of that shot and get up to the tee. But then I just hold it, freeze it all up for a split second, and then I've got them. The execution of the shot doesn't necessarily need to be massively technical. Okay? You will lose power, you will have to sacrifice something because you're purposefully breaking your own rhythm. You are breaking your rhythm and your timing for the greater good because your opponent now has to commit and they'll end up sinking on the tee, waiting for that second, and then a simple little push down the line will be really effective. You might not win the point, but you're planting a bit of doubt in their movement, you're planting a bit of doubt in their mind. And when you watch these videos, if you can get your foot down early, that makes a big difference. There is a slightly different way to do it, and some of these other videos will show it. Someone like Cameron Pilley, for example, would get his racket a little bit shorter, and the foot and the hit happened in the same time. So, for example, I'd move onto a ball here, and he would go there. And that's still very effective. I prescribed a little bit more into the idea of freezing my feet first, because I just didn't feel that the foot pushing through the ball was as effective, okay? You just see the players, they do it really well, but that is definitely another way to do it. So if you are struggling with the idea of exploding, freezing, and hitting, or exploding, freezing, dropping, you might consider that idea about the floating front foot. So you could explode, hold, and then hit. So I think there's a little bit of flexibility in the front. I would personally propose the freezing of the feet first. It tends to have a little bit more effect on the opponent and see where you go from there.